What's going on, everybody? It's Childish back at it again, coming at you with another Summoners War video. And in today's video, we're going to give you guys a quick account update, but ultimately tell you why it has taken me so long to hit basically that 300k mark. So for those that haven't got a chance to check out, it's been a month since we've been playing this game, right? And I've been kind of climbing up slowly but surely here, but I've always been a little bit behind most of the people out there that have been playing as long as I have here, despite the fact that they may spend money or not here. But I've been behind and I was trying to figure out why. So I want to give a big shout out to the community for all the people that have been coming on board and helping us out on stream. But I want to give credit where credit is due. Some of the people that we've had on board, Baker's Goods, Greg or Not, all of these people have been outrageously helpful in providing me some stellar information that's going to be able to assist you. So again, if you guys haven't had a chance to check those videos out, I'll leave some links at the end of the video so you can go ahead and check it out. And as well, I will leave Greg and Not's stream on the in the comment section down below, so you guys can check that out as well. I kid you not, fam. Literally every single time I go to these professional streamers channels here, I always learn at least 5 to 10 things in every single video. So again, I want to give a big shout out to all those guys that have been helping me along the way. So the big thing of it is that I think about a week and a half ago or so, I was clocking in at about 230, 240 CP. And of course, I've, had people on and showcase them, and they told me, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. But there's still a few things that I've heard people talk about it, but I still feel like most of us ignore it or forget about it here. So I want to talk about the combat power and what I've done to improve here. I think the first thing that I want to talk about is my units here. So if I can go on over to the monsters, big things that we want to focus on is the units, their combat power, and how they get that, right? You guys already have seen enough videos, have studied the game enough to know that, runes play a role. The awakening plays a role. The amount of skills plays a role. But again, those are not the only things that play a role. A lot of other things that play a role is the account effect on your specific account, the power of ascensions. Have you been doing your Spire of Ascensions and getting those bonuses that you can obtain? The amount of books that you got on the unit here, the closet, the stuff that you can craft or get through events or purchase, all those things that provide, little bonus stats here. Again, of course, enhancing the skill, the skills that we were talking about, those playing a role here. Those are the big things, right? The overall monster, the overall runes, and the skill ups, right? The awakening and whatnot here is important as well. But one thing that people sometimes forget about as well is the quality of the unit. Is it a natural 3-star? Is it a natural 4-star? Is it a natural 5-star, right? Because at the end of the day, the goals that we're trying to do is, right, we're trying to put specific runes on units that provide a percentage-based stat that ultimately boost up dramatically the amount of value to be obtained from the original base stats here. But the units that we have generally recommended over the course of the last 4 weeks here are units that everybody can get here, which is going to be Shanna, which is going to be Kona, which is going to be the Fire Fairy. All those units are outrageously amazing and will help you when it comes to your progression. But as you move into the game and you start getting new units and you start getting resources to invest in these units, you now got to kind of think which units are going to provide you the most bang for your buck and focus everything you can on those specific units. So for example, we got to talk about Bastet, because Bastet is a unit out there that people were fortunate enough to get a copy of, multiple copies of, if they, done the Bastet bet early on here, right? So one of the things that we forget about is some of the value that it can be obtained by getting multiple copies of a unit, which is essentially the book. This is one of the things that they're talking about here. Once you get specific copies of these sponsors here, you'll be able to increase the overall level of the unit, which thereby improves some overall stats on these units respectively. So again, if you guys haven't had a chance to take a look at some of the units that maybe you've gotten duplicates here for, you got to take a look and say, you know what, this unit provides value to my team, this provides a specific role, and I got a level 9 unit, should I incorporate it or not? That's definitely something that you'll have to consider. Now again, I want to talk about not just the overall unit and the overall books one here, but the runes per se. Again, we already know about the runes and focusing on runes and investing in the runes, leveling up the, runes so we can, make it better here. But again, the enchantments, the I want to say grindstones, but the enchantments, the sunstones, the moonstones, the books, all of that plays a big role in improving it. So if you guys haven't had a chance to really take advantage of it, once you realize, which ones are your best damage dealing sets, which ones are your best support sets, and you start throwing those in on your units that provide that specific role, have you gone over here and truly looked at the amount of effect stones you have, looked at the amount of spell books you have, and enchanted the best spell books, the best stats that you're looking for that specific monster on those units here? As you guys can see, Sekhmet being one of my #1 units in the game that I utilize for every single aspect of the game. She's one that I've invested multiple crit rate stats on, a wide variety of runes, because at the end of the day, my goal is to crit as much as possible. So if I can do that, if I can do that and I'm not getting the actual crit rate stats, something like this rune here, where I'm not getting the crit rate stats that I want, I can thereby improve it by essentially putting on these spell books that provide attack, that provide crit rate, and essentially do what I need to do to get me as high as crit, rate as possible. Because at the end of the day, it is a damage based unit. So if we decide to go with a crit damage build, we're not going to get full value out of it if we're not critting do it. So we got to have the enough crit rate to justify putting crit damage on a specific unit here. So again, big thing to focus on, not just everything that we talk about, but more importantly, those grindstones, those effect stones or whatnot here. Take advantage of that. Work on your alchemy. Again, as you guys can see right now, I'm doing a little bit of farming, a little creature book farming here, getting some additional bonus stats as I figure that out, free rewards. But I'm also taking a look at my alchemy here and working on just improving the overall level of it, so I can get some of these high-end stones that can thereby improve the runes. And again, I'm not just throwing these stones into any rune that I do. I'm throwing these stones into 5-star runes that provide value that I know I'm going to be using for a little bit here. And I'm not going super high up because I can't. I'm actually taking a look at some of these low-end ones that I can craft multiple ones here. I'm taking a look at some of these attack spell books here so I can focus on attack-based stats and make some in order to improve whatever unit it is I'm looking to do. So as you guys can see right here, yeah, I got unfortunately lucky here with a flat attack, but I did get myself an attack percentage, which again, 1.9% may not seem like a lot to you, but if you're sitting here having the opportunity to take all these, easy crafting materials, craft 15 books, you might be able to get yourself 4 or 5 or 6 of those, whatever. Or you might be fortunate enough to get critical rate ones, and you might be able to put literally 6, critical rate books like I did, and get myself 10, 12, 15% critical rate on a unit. 50% critical rate is definitely going to make a difference between win or losing some of these high-end dungeons that have damage checks that you need to clear. So if you guys are not min-maxing your runes for your specific units here, that's really going to hurt you, because at the end of the day, if you're not putting, again, like we say in Skyrena, if you're not putting the best runes on your best units, what are you doing? You're just kind of, essentially, you're doing it wrong, right? And then if I forgot to mention already, not just the runes and enchantments and all that stuff, but ultimately the optimization of those runes. Sure, when we first start out, we're going to be focusing on stats over sets as I have, and you will see there's not really any clear-cut set bonus that I'm getting. But once you start clearing these dungeons, you start getting your best blade runes and your rage runes and your speed runes, your focus runes and all that stuff here. Are you providing your units with the best overall stats that you provide? Do you have the best runes on your best units here, and you're not spreading them out thin throughout 10 or 12 units that you have built out there? Because I bet you, if you take a look at your account right now, you might be able to move around some runes here to make your top 3 units that you're utilizing the more situations than not improve, because you've given them the best runes on there. So again, we got the runes, we got the enchantments, the grindstones, the overall optimization of those runes. Taking a look at the units, the overall grade of the units, the improvement that it gives by having the natural high base stats here. All of that plays a role in improving that overall combat power. So again, if I didn't mention already, which I probably didn't, right? We obviously got to talk about the summoner, because we could put all this effort into our monsters here, but ultimately those monsters will switch out over time. The summoner is the one that will always be there with you with other comedy dudes. So again, if you're not doing the same thing, busting out some of these grindstones or enchantments that you can provide, then that's, you're missing out on that. As you can see, I got a grindstone here for 4.4% attack percent power. Got a little bit of crit damage, a little bit of defense here. Still looking for a decent green gem slot that I have not, put on there. But ultimately, you are missing out on a lot of specific resources, because again, all of these here, you can come over here and put various grindstones and enchantments. And again, I put it out there. I put this out to you blindly to show you that even I am missing out on value here. Even I have the chance to do it. Some of these staffs have 3 slots. Some of these staffs have 2 slots here. Again, we're missing out on a ton of value. And if you're not taking advantage of it, you're going to go ahead and fall, by on the wayside, because, your guild mates, your friends or whatnot are moving up. And you're wondering to yourself, like, why am I not getting the combat power they have? There's all these cool dungeons in play. There's all these cool things to do. But, the reality of it is that you need a specific amount of combat power minimum to get up in there and be relatively safe here. So make sure you guys are going back, doing your research, making the improvements, making the adjustments, and, focusing on, what are the best, the gear, the equipment for your summoner, your monsters, investing into those, and then focusing on those so that you can get it done. And I want to give another shout out here to Baker's Goods. as well as Gregory. But Baker's good. If you guys remember in his video where he literally was, he was at 300K when people were at 200K. He was at 450K when people were at 300K. And one of the things that he mentioned that got him an absurd amount of improvement here was the research log crafting, right? So again, I want to put it out there because we talked about it in the previous video, but we got to say it one more time here. Crafting that can be done here in the cooking as well as the alchemy, the crafting of the research books that gives you the skill points here that overall gives you more opportunities to go ahead and improve your overall summoner here. So again, you craft these books, you take them, you click on them, you get the bonus stats that you want, and then you go back into your overall skill tree and take a look at the hands, and then you'll be able to invest those into those resources here. Again, I think I have what 425. I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, I think Baker Cruz right now has a little under 1,000. He literally has double the amount of skill points here because he's been investing all his time and energy into doing everything he needs to do to get those resources, but ultimately taking those books, crafting those books, and then focusing on one specific summoner to improve the overall stats here. While this game allows you to play one of 3 different summoners here, if you are spreading your books too thin as other people spread their runes too thin or their enchantments too thin or whatever the case may be, then again, you're going to be at a fault here. So definitely take advantage of the research logs that you obtained along the way. And like we said in the previous video, make sure that you are always logging in to do your expeditions here. You get 50 free runs to do this here. So this is another thing you can do on the auto farming. In addition to that, you also have some regular expeditions you can knock out here as you see fit, as they give you, the research log pieces to craft, or they give you the research log books, right from the get-go. So again, a lot of value to be had, but a lot of things we miss out here. Don't be that guy or girl that completely forgot about these things, as I did. Okay. At the end of the day, our goal is to help one another. And if we are not taking a look at everything this game has to offer, we're going to miss out on a lot of improvement that ultimately could lead to our enjoyment of the game here. So I'll go and leave you with that here. Again, huge shout out to the Summoners War Chronicles community for helping me out for the last month here. Now, I kid you not, fam. If you come on over to my stream, you come on over to one of these endgame streamers here on Twitch, I kid you not, you just sit there for 30 minutes here. You will absolutely learn something new that you don't know before here. So again, I want to give a big shout out to all of you guys for clicking on this video. And if you did find this helpful in any way, shape, or form, you all know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.